Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Beyond Headlines with Mr. Anand Vardhan Singh and me, Sujit Nair. Like you know, this is a joint venture between the public and HW News Network. We come every Sunday to your residence and talk about politics. Talk about the electioneering states. We talk what's happening. We talk what is the latest. We try and cover whatever has happened during the week. So that's what this program is all about. We know it. You wanted us to do English and Hindi separately. So here we are, English and Hindi separately for the last 3 weeks. We've been doing that. And thank you so much for the kind of response you've been giving to this program. So that's that. Now, let's come to the topic of the day. We're primarily going to discuss three very major and pertaining topics. The first thing is Bahujan Samaj Party. Let's talk about Bahujan Samaj Party because that's one party we have not spoken about for a long time. Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about Punjab and what's happening in Punjab. Let's also talk about Uttar Pradesh and what's happening in Uttar Pradesh. So this is broadly what the discussion of today is going to be. Welcome to the show, Mr. Singh. Thank you so much for joining. And as always, it's a pleasure. Sir, tell me, Bahujan Samaj Party. What's happening in Bahujan Samaj Party?
Let me start the conversation with the very basic thing that Bahujan Samaj Party had a very long past where the mission was the service to the general to the social downtrodden. That was the motto. Power sharing, power politics was a later thing which came in. 1984, when Kashi Ramji started this thing formally, he was doing it for decades before that, but when he made it formal, then in BSP graduated from Vamsav to BSP, became a political force, and they had leaders who have really worked very hard in the nook and corners of small villages all over, not only in UP, Punjab, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, all these places. And he had people with him, Kashi Ramji, who were not primarily after power. They were there to make some change in the society, make some change for people who were not given their due, and they were fighting for it. Kashi Ramji made this. I mean, it was generally taken as a scheduled caste or a Dalit outfit, but he had the best of backward leaders with him. I'm just taking few names. Sonilal Patel worked with him. Swami Prasad Maurya, Babu Singh Kushwaha, Barku Ram Verma, Ramachal Rajbhar. I mean, you name a list of people, the backward leaders who worked with Kashi Ramji. So the total strength and the total, you will say, the strike force was not only the Dalit votes, was also a sizable number of backward votes. Now, this all started. Slowly, the things change. Mayawati ji came into picture. Kashi Ramji formally handed over the reins of his movement and reins of his political party BSP to Mayawati ji. And then Mayawati ji is driving the whole thing. Now Kashi Ramji is not there in the scene. He's no more. So there were two parts of this BSP. BSP has a part of mission which you call, or a Vamsav, which was always as a social activist. They were the social change, and they were trying to make the social change in the society. So that was one part, and the second part was the other arm was the political, the power politics. Somehow, after Kashi Ram, the social aspect of whatever BSP or Vamsav was has reduced. Today, BSP is a power-centric party who only talks of elections, how to get those elections, and whatever they want to change the society is through the political power, not through a social movement. So that is a very basic change which has come in the character of BSP. Now, for the first time, we saw that change in 2007 elections, because Mayawati ji before that was Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh for three times. One 1995 along with the backing of Mulayam Singh ji, and then again twice with the backing of BJP. 2007, before during the run up of the 2007 elections, they have understood. I mean, not only Mayawati ji, the entire cadre of BJP, the decision makers have understood that only with those committed votes of Dalit and backward, they cannot reach the absolute majority. I mean, the majority mark. So a new thing came up, and it was thought that if they bring in Brahmins who are not only supposed, who are not only in terms of percentage, they may not be very large, but in terms of influence, they have a decisive effect on the society. They are a very major thing in media. They are a very major thing in bureaucracy. They am a very major thing in education and things like that. So BSP, which was talking of Tilak Taraju or Talwar, inko maro jute char, slowly came that Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh hai, Hathi nahi wo. So, they started abusing, they started trying to get Brahmins on their side. And 2007 election was a very important election because they were able to get Brahmin on their side. Reason for this was that Brahmins traditionally were always with Congress. And I must tell you, I'm forgetting the numbers. There was a time when Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister. Out of 18 or 19 or 20 states, 16 or 17 states Congress Chief Minister was Brahmin only. There was a time, about 80-90% states were ruled by a Congress Chief Minister. So Brahmins were, their own party was Congress. Now with the coming of Mandal in 1989, which VP Singh and then Mandal and Kamandal politics, when Mandal came in, the backward leadership came. And they started dominating the Indian political scene, and especially in the Hindi heartland. Now, there the Brahmins got marginalized. Somehow they were not sharing the power. The Brahmin chief minister of Uttar Pradesh was in 89, Narayan Tiwari. After that, there is no Brahmin chief minister in Uttar Pradesh. So Brahmins were also trying to how we must get a share in this power. So they aligned with Mayawati ji, and that was the turning point. That in 2007 she got around 206 seats, if I am not wrong, and she got an absolute majority. So that was the journey which brought Brahman together with Mayawati ji.
We will get more of that in Uttar Pradesh politics when we got to speak specific about Uttar Pradesh politics. But I want to ask you a few very basic questions, Singh Sahab. See, there is a general understanding that Bahujan Samaj votes sticks to Bahujan Samaj. That vote goes nowhere, no matter what. That vote goes nowhere. Figures also say the same. While the number of seats must have come down, but the vote share has gone up to a very major extent. So, is that true? Is that general understanding true?
I will say yes and no both, because what happens pre-Mandal days, I will not say pre-Mandal days, pre-BJP days, before 2014, I will say. Generally speaking, there were religion was one thing, and then there were major castes, Yadav, Kurmi, things like Nishad, you can say. Now, with BJP in 2017, it's just a very, I will say, a marvelous social engineering they did. The word might be wrong because social engineering is used by BSP. They did whatever. So they did a right chemistry where they were able to divide this caste into subcastes. They were knowing that in scheduled caste, Mayawati ji comes from the Jatav caste, subcaste of scheduled caste. Then there are Balmikis. Then there are Pasis. Then there are different subcastes. So BJP was knowing that they cannot do. The Jatavs will not move from Mayawati ji. So they I will say, attack, or they concentrated, they started working on the castes which were, though they were scheduled castes, but they were not so close, or they had their own problems there. Like in Kurmis. Now, Kurmi, we all know there are Kurmis, but there are many subcastes. Brahmins, we you and all know, like in UP, there are basic two major Brahmins, Sarjupari, Kankuj. Now, when you come to Sarjupari, when the place where I belong to, Eastern UP, Mam Khor ke Shukla. Mam Khor ke Shukla are the top. Now, that Ravi Kishan is is a Shukla from Mam Khor, the top on the hierarchy in the. Now, people, and even in caste, he's a Srivastav, he's a Saxena, I mean, there are subcastes in all these castes, which somehow BJP was able to stitch that thing with the subcaste thing. So today, if you say that all the scheduled caste vote for BSP, will not be correct. They have their own strengths, but by and large, I will say the majority of the scheduled caste still look towards Mayawati ji as their leader. There is absolutely no doubt on that.
Let's come back to this subject when we discuss Uttar Pradesh. Let's move to Punjab. Sidhu made a statement. He said, "Listen, you know what? The center or the high command will never put a aggressive or a efficient or a popular leader in as chief ministerial candidate." What is he talking about?
Sidhu is still not reconciled to the fact that he was not made the chief minister, because all the agitation, all the networking, everything was done by Sidhu against Amrinder Singh. I'm not using the word conspiracy because people were not happy. I mean, the average MLA was not happy with the way Amrinder Singh was running his ministry. Uh, it was the Congress legislature party which called for a meeting, which was primarily engineered by Sidhu. And Sidhu was very definite that he is going to be the chief minister of Punjab. Somehow it never happened. Uh, I mean, about 2, 3, 4 days back, I saw a statement from some Mr. Jhakkar or someone. They said so and so got 16 votes, so and so got 8 votes for becoming the chief minister race when after Amrinder Singh, and it was told that Channi, since he got only 2 votes, but he was made the chief minister. I think that might have been his strength, because everyone has a faction. Channi was without a faction, so it might have worked in a reverse way in favor of Channi. Now, Sidhu has not reconciled to that. I still feel when the elections are around the corner, you are going to vote on 20th. 18th, your campaign will stop. Today, another maybe 12, 13 days. For a party president, he's not a normal MLA or MP. For a party president, telling all these things, uh, certainly, I mean, it is not going to help Congress in no way. I mean, it is difficult, and Sidhu is there. It talks like that.
Let us also talk about that case that was wrecked up. His 18-year-old, 20-year-old case wrecked up against him. 33-year-old. Sorry. 33-year-old case wrecked up against him. Channi's nephew getting arrested. I mean, is this kind of politics going to continue? Is this what it is?
My worry is what is happening. BJP always comes out with this. BJP feels that I can threaten someone, people will be disturbed, people will, and at times they have succeeded in also. Because I'm taking a specific case. If you remember, there was an election commissioner by the name of Lavasa. Lavasa ji has given 11 notes, not going with the majority. I mean, there are 3 people, 2 election commissioners, one is called the chief election commissioner. He was not going with the majority, he has his dissent note, 11 dissent notes, and which were talking of the way Prime Minister, in few of the notes, it was said that the Prime Minister, how he has violated the Model Code of Conduct. What happened? A person sitting at the election of becoming the Election Commissioner of India, going to become the next Chief Election Commissioner of India was pressurized, I will say, because his wife, his sister, and his son, if I'm not wrong, got calls from income tax, ED, and things like that. And he had to leave. You tell me something, any bureaucrat who is sitting there, he will not like to become the Chief Election Commissioner of India of the largest democracy in the world. So he had to leave. So BJP always feel that if I am going to threaten someone, if I am going to send CBI, something like that, people will act the way I want it. But I feel there is a caliber. When you give a dose, there is a calibration of dose. Now you give 2 mm, you give 3 mm, you give 4 mm. Now if you overdose it, if you overdo it, people are not afraid. Today, P. Chidambaram, the way he was put in jail for about more than 100 days. What happened to that case? If there was some substance, why the trial was not done and he was not put behind the bar? What happened to Vadra case? Every 5-10 years, whenever the election comes, Robert Vadra case comes up. This is happening, this is happening. He's called for questioning and things like that. And then again, everything dies. So this was a very cheap, I am calling a cheap tactics of BJP. My bigger, larger threat is this, that tomorrow BJP will not be there. Maybe after 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Now the next man coming is going to abuse the same, and he may abuse it further. So my worry is this, because this is not democracy. This is, you fight an election. If you had a case, postpone it for 20 days. Make that case, make this arrest. Because today I saw there a statement by someone in Akali Dal, which says that now it is the nephew of Channi, and now the next turn is of Channi himself. He is going to be arrested. I think that will be the best day. Congress must pray that Channi is arrested, because then Congress doesn't have to even converse. No conversing, nothing. Sit in home and you are going to win Punjab if Channi is arrested.
This old talk about Akali Dal, kind of trying to align back, or Bharatiya Janata Party trying to woo Akali Dal back to their fold. Is there any truth in it?
The talks are going on because of two things. One, BJP got 3 seats last time. I don't think so they are going to get even 1 seat, but maybe. I mean, they are fighting at 63 places. People are telling they are preparing themselves for 2024 elections. Today, what is happening? Because of the Kisan Andolan, BJP, most of the BJP leaders are not allowed in any Punjab villages. They are not. Their entry is banned, type of a thing. Now, as compared to BJP, Shiromani Akali Dal is a very well organized. I mean, their organization is good. They are spread in all the villages of Punjab. There is absolutely no doubt about it. As far as Shiromani Akali Dal is concerned, they have an excuse, I will say, that the reason for which they left the NDA is no more there, because the Kisan laws have been withdrawn. So there is no reason for them why to be out of NDA. But strategically, I don't think so that anything is going to happen pre-poll, because elections are already on 20th. Post-poll, yes, BJP certainly wants to have a formal arrangement with Akali Dal, because they are looking for 2024 elections. 2024 elections, BJP all alone in Punjab, no chance. BJP 2024 election with Akali Dal, yes, they will be at least able to fight that.
So, like one always say that it is BJP needs Akali Dal more than Akali Dal needing BJP, because Akali Dal having BJP will only give them some kind of a national presence, maybe a ministerial berth in center. Except for that, Akali Dal benefits nothing. But my last question before we go back to Uttar Pradesh is, Singh Saab, what about Bhagwant Singh Mann? Nothing seems to have happened after his nomination or as a candidate.
Right. There are things, because what is happening, Aam Aadmi Party, that is for certain that it is today the fight is between Aam Aadmi Party and Congress Party. Now, someone who is first or second has all the right to feel that I am going to be the ruling party. There is absolutely nothing wrong in that. So, as far as Bhagwant Maan is concerned, yes, the way we had thought that it will come up and people will be opting for AAP, it has not happened. But still, you cannot rule out that if Sidhu is making all these statements, all these things, anyone who doesn't want to see that Congress should come into power may go to Aam Aadmi Party. The thing which is happening in UP, because maybe a Akali Dal voter, maybe a hardcore BJP voter, if he wants that no, Congress should not come to power in Punjab, then he will not be left with a choice of giving a vote to BJP. They are left with a choice of going with Aam Aadmi Party. It might happen, because I think still it has not happened. I think Aam Aadmi Party would like to make it a bipolar, the way it is happening in UP.
I'm going to play a quiz game with you, Singh Saab. Okay, I'm going to play a quiz game with you. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read out a statement, and you have to guess who said the statement. The statement is.
I'm bad at quiz game, but still, I mean, let us try. Okay.
The statement is only Congress can defeat Congress in Punjab.
Must be some congressman.
I'm sure, yeah, of course. But then who else? Yeah.
Then I said only congressman.
Only Congress can defeat Congress in Punjab. Singh Saab, this is said by Navjot Singh Sidhu. He himself said this, and ironically, he is the one who's causing this defeat to happen. So that's something that makes me wonder what's he thinking. So anyway, Singh Saab, going back to Uttar Pradesh, Bahujan Samaj Party coming in. What is that? What is the changes? Any changes in the Samikaran? Any changes in the way things are?
No, I will say the only thing is that somehow for last 2 months, and especially I always call it the turning point was Swami Prasad Maurya leaving Bhajpa and joining Samajwadi Party was the turning point of 2022 elections, where it became absolutely clear that the fight is between two. It is going to be a bipolar, BJP and allies and Sapa and allies. BSP and Congress were neither here, were not, naturally, they were not with any of these two parties, but somehow it looks like that BSP may not have a tactical understanding, but if they become, if BJP get strength, it is assumed that it will be at the cost of Samajwadi Party. Same way, if Congress, it looks like, is now tactically with the main opposition party, that is Samajwadi Party. I will just give you two very small examples of Congress, and then we'll come back to BSP. First of all, Congress withdrew its candidate against Akhilesh Yadav and Shivpal Singh Yadav. And I was also, in one of my shows, I was of the opinion that they should have withdrawn, because as a courtesy, because the same thing was done when Mulayam Singh Yadav was there. Then he has withdrawn his candidates against Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. So it was a nice gesture on their part. Secondly, there was a statement from Priyanka Gandhi, if you remember, about 10 days back or maybe 7 days back, where she has said, in a post-poll arrangement, we will not mind going with Samajwadi Party or making Akhilesh as chief minister, something like that. So that is more or less clear that I will say the goodwill of Congress is with this dispensation. And on the hard reality also, Congress can never go with BJP. BSP is trying to get its own ground. Somehow it looks like that the way Mayawati ji is attacking Samajwadi Party and Congress, it looks like by default, she's aligning herself with BJP.
Correct. So tell me, if that's the case, let's understand this alignment business in Uttar Pradesh. See, somewhere down the line, everybody seems to be knowing it, but nobody seems to be talking about it. Isn't it that Samajwadi Party, of course, RLD, Congress, they are in one group, and possibly some of them already have relationships going on, and somebody has tacit relationships going on. And in the other hand, Bahujan Samajwadi Party and Bharatiya Janata Party, they too are in some kind of a tacit understanding. Isn't that a fact, Singh sir?
Uh, I mean, what is happening loosely, generally, we call it an understanding. I will not say understanding. It is happening because Mayawati ji ka the first and foremost thing, how BSP wins. Now, if BSP is winning even at the cost of suppose Akhilesh losing, why she should not work for BSP to win? I mean, it's a very basic question. So the thing is, if Mayawati ji has to win or BSP has to win, some chunk of votes from Muslim voters has to come. I mean, basically the problem is that Muslim voters. So it is generally felt that BSP is fielding more of Muslim candidates. And today also, even out of those 10 MPs, sitting MPs, 5 are Muslims as far as the BSP is concerned. So BSP somehow wants to give an impression that, look, we are with you, our combination is better, and you please vote for us. But that is to be seen on ground. People who don't want to vote for BJP or people who want that BJP should not form the government somehow feels that Akhilesh is in a better position to form a government and to garner all these votes which are against BJP.
So fair enough. So then, in that case, where does Owaisi stand? And I want to talk more about Owaisi after this.
Owaisi ji, I mean, let me tell you, he was talking that he's coming to UP in a big way. He started addressing meetings and things like that. But I don't think so. He is going to get a support. Even he has got 2,38,000 or 2,40,000 votes in last 2017 elections. It will be, as far as I think, it will be a miracle if he crosses that 2,38,000.
Even after the fact that he was shot, and I want to talk about the shooting. What really happened there, Singh sir?
It is more or less clear. I mean, it is more or less clear that what happened. Someone, I will not take a name of a party. Someone who wanted that there should be some rift. It should be seen as it is a Hindu-Muslim. Whosoever group wanted that it should look like a Hindu-Muslim, because someone desperately wants that AIMIM, which is called the B team, I mean, which is not correct, but which is called that because if they become stronger, the Samajwadi Party becomes weaker and BJP becomes stronger. So that is why it was called that they are in a way indirectly supporting BJP, was the general feeling in Uttar Pradesh. Now, people wanted to break it. People wanted that, no, BJP and AIM are fighting each other and they are the main rivals. What they did was, it was a very crude plan, whosoever made this plan. Someone comes on a toll plaza, so he must be knowing where Owaisi is traveling and he must be knowing of those things. So he is not someone who is just going through that, and it was planned. So they had all the intelligence, all the thing that Owaisi is going to come and passing through this toll plaza. Someone goes there, he fires 4 rounds of shots. It is not one. And all those 4 rounds are not shot at aiming Owaisi Sahab. It is shot at the tire, at the mudguard, at the footrest level. Then that gentleman, I mean, again, people will call me, there are people who will call me, why you are calling him a gentleman who is firing? Whosoever, that his name is Sachin, his picture comes on the CCTV camera. He gives a good look at the CCTV camera. He's captured on the CCTV camera. Then within few hours, he is tracked. He's arrested. As soon as he's arrested, he gives his that tool. That katta or that tamancha or that country revolver or whatever it is to the police, tells him that who he is. People go and see that he is a sympathizer of a particular Hindu organization, and he wanted to make it Hindu Muslim. There is absolutely no doubt about it. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Somehow, it has not happened. Somehow, the Muslims have acted very maturely. You have not seen a single. I mean, people have worried. People have said that it should not have happened. But at the local level, you tell me if a single protest or something has happened. Yes, everyone is. I mean, I also feel in a democratic country, I have my way of telling my things. I have this is the right. And who is Sachin or anyone to stop me from this? But but having said that, they wanted to do this. The Muslim community has acted very peacefully. Even the supporters of AIMIM, Owaisi Sahab, nothing has happened in Hyderabad. At least not in UP. Had it been Hyderabad was his forte, have you heard anything happening there? Nothing has happened. And I must say that Owaisi Sahab in the parliament also acted very maturely, because BJP immediately gave him a Z category security and things like that. His life is under threat, and he wanted to make it that Hindu Muslim, Hindu Muslim. He said no. He said, why my life? If any Indian, and he gave yesterday when he was speaking, it was one of the good speeches which he's otherwise also he's a very good speaker. He said, any Indian, till he's safe, why I should take security? And I also feel, I mean, anyone who is an elected member of parliament or Vidhan Sabha, why he takes security? Why he wants, to whom he's so bothered about? Whom he's afraid of? If he's a people's representative, so he has done the right thing as far as that part is concerned. But somehow, whatever outfit wanted to do this, wanted there should be a rift between Hindu Muslim, has failed.
Has it helped AIM?
Helped in the sense, like, let me tell you, in terms of vote, I don't think so. In terms of sympathy, yes. Because somehow the AIMIM candidate are not fighting that they are in the first or second position. Had it been that AIMIM was in the second position, maybe few Hindus or maybe all Muslims might have aligned themselves behind AIMIM. AIMIM is not in the reckoning, at least in this election. So I don't think so, because for Muslims this is a very important election. For Muslims it is a very important election, and a party which openly says that it is a fight between 80-20, this 20, whosoever is this 20, for them it is very important. So I don't think so they are going to waste their vote.
BSP, is BSP going to do better than what last time, or it's going to be same? Last time was 19, if you remember. It's going to be better than last time, same as last time, or worse than last time?
As far as the seats are concerned, it will be more than 19. There is absolutely no doubt about it.
So they're going to do better than last time.
Better than last time. And numbers, very difficult to predict at this point of time, but they will be more than 19. There is absolutely no doubt about it.
So that may be of help to Bharatiya Janata Party at some point in time if they need some more numbers to get into the majority figure, isn't it?
That is the only party which can, because in the last NDA, I mean, I will talk all from it was 98 when the NDA formally came into being. Till now, barring 4 parties in the country, and I have told n number of times, there are only four parties in the country who have not aligned themselves or shared or partnered themselves with BJP. Sharad Pawar's NCP, Lalu Yadav's RJD, Akhilesh Yadav, Samajwadi Party, and Congress. But as far as Samajwadi Party, RJD, I will not say RJD. As far as Samajwadi Party and Sharad Pawar's NCP is concerned, there is an impression that when there is a pressure of ED, CBI, income tax, things like that, to an extent, I will not say they go with with BJP, but they will not take some very harsh steps. But it is only Congress, I must say, it is only Congress and Rahul Gandhi. Till now, I have not seen any action of Rahul Gandhi which can be said that he's afraid of BJP, or he's afraid of CBI, or he's afraid of because that way it is ruled out that SAPA or BJP or Congress can go with BJP. That leaves with Mayawati ji, or the way Amit Shah is talking of RLD. Now, Jayant Chaudhary, so Amit Shah is trying to make his position weak there and trying to split the votes. Amit Shah, not once, at least 20, 30, 100 times he is telling that come what may, I am not going to play with BJP or to align myself with BJP post, pre-poll, post-poll at any point of time. So it leaves only with Mayawati ji, who has never said that post-poll she is not going with BJP. She has not said anything. So her options are open.
What my final question as usual, what is it looking in Uttar Pradesh at the moment?
Like at the moment, there is absolutely no doubt in the first phase, which is 58 seats plus 55 seats. In the second phase, 113 seats. It is not 50-50. Akhilesh Yadav and his Samajwadi Gadbandhan or are more than 50%. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Now, rest of the seats, how much is BSP, how much is BJP is anyone's guess. It is very difficult to say at this point of time. But Akhilesh Yadav on his own is more than 50%. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Rest of the seats, how much is BJP? How many seats BSP? Please remember, Western UP is also a BSP forte. Mayawati ji comes from that area only. Her Jatav community is primarily in that area only. So that is her forte. So how many seats to BSP? How many seats to BJP? How many seats to Congress? Because Pradeep Mathur, one of the Congress old hand who was there. I mean, there are few more people who are fighting there. So, but more than 50% seats in the first two Gadbandhan, Akhilesh Yadav and RLD.
So that's how it looks currently. Great, Mr. Singh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much as always. It's such a pleasure talking to you. And we will keep on doing this till the end of the elections, and we will keep on upgrading our viewers on what is happening. Next time we'll talk on Manipur and Goa
Okay.
a little more in detail. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.